I'm not good at jokes.
Okay, right back.
So, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Rosemary Tate, and I've lived in this town, West Hartford, for 40 years. So Carol will be here in a short while. This is our 6th year trying to bring our culture, our Caribbean culture, to West Hartford. And we have done different topics. The last topic we had was, let's see, the migration of Caribbean people to this area. And we have done the Panama Canal and other topics. The topics are Caribbean, but they're also American because the politics of America has influenced the Caribbean and Panama and our people in the Caribbean. And of course, we have migrated to this country a lot and this community. So today, we have a special speaker, Mr. Frederick Cover, we call him Tony, and he has assisted me many times in presenting different topics on the culture. One was the evolution of reggae. We also did one on Bob Marley, and today he's doing Jimmy Cliff, which is a forerunner, icon before Bob Marley. And we have other people besides Bob Marley. Everybody knows Bob Marley, but we have other people like Toots Toots and the Maytals, Peter Tosh, different groups. We also have Calypso that was there before and Scat. So we just want people to be a little bit more aware of the culture, get familiar with it, and develop a great appreciation. So we'll wait a couple minutes for Carol to come, and we'll get started. Thank you. And thanks for coming. And we have great refreshments over there, so help yourself.
Welcome, members. Did everybody, if you park in the parking garage, you can put your license plate in the tablet in the back for free parking. All right?
Yeah. Okay, let me register mine. This work. Hello, testing. Good.
Do you want me to present her, or do you want to wait for Karen?
Go ahead.
Because she could talk afterwards. Welcome, everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Leah. I'm the head of programming here at the West Hartford Public Library. We've been partnering with Rosemary and Carol for several years now. We love partnering with them to host an annual program. I think last year you did like a musical performance and a movie. But today we're here to talk about Mr. Jimmy Cliff, and we have an excellent local expert to do so. Frederick Cover, sometimes known as Tony. Can they call you Tony?
Yes, sir.
They can call it Tony. Is a Jamaican-born finance professional, educator, and lifelong music enthusiast with a deep appreciation for Jamaican culture and its global influence. While his professional career has spanned investment management, real estate finance, public service, and higher education, music has remained a constant passion throughout his life. Mr. Cover spent more than 25 years as an investment analyst with TIAA CREF in New York, where he developed expertise in investment analysis and long-term institutional investing. Following the September 11th tragedy, he relocated to Connecticut, lucky for us, and continued his professional career within the state housing finance system. He studied economics at Pace University and later earned advanced graduate degrees in finance, including a Master of Science in Real Estate Finance from NYU and an MBA in Finance from University of Hartford. Do you mind if I cut to the end?
That's fine.
Yeah. Outside of his professional life, Mr. Cover is a devoted husband, father of 6 children, and proud grandfather of 8 grandchildren. He also maintains an extensive vinyl collection, specializing in ska, rocksteady, reggae, and R&B soul music. His passion for music extends beyond collecting, as he occasionally contributes programming and airtime to a local Hartford radio station, WWH, I assume? Or
No, it's an underground station.
Oh, an underground station. You're going to have to tell everybody after that. An online broadcast from his own basement studio. His interest in Jamaican music and culture brings him to today's program, where he is honored to share reflections on life, music, and on the life, music, and enduring legacy of Jimmy Cliff, one of Jamaica's most influential cultural ambassadors and pioneers of reggae music. And I'm going to turn it over to Tony.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Leah, for that introduction. I don't know where you got that, but it sounds right.
You wrote it.
It sounds accurate. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Rosemary Tate, my friend, asked me to put this together for her. And I thought about it for a while. And as a matter of fact, she picked the topic. But I decided to do it for her because I had some interest in doing public service work like this. And so it was a pleasure in doing this. So today I want to talk about this guy, Jimmy Cliff, and his role in the expansion of Jamaican reggae music. If I should ask any one of you, have you ever heard of Jimmy Cliff before? That's a fairly good representation. The reason why I ask is because most people associate the reggae music culture to Bob Marley, and that's not really, it's kind of true, but there are some symbiotic relationships between Bob Marley and Jimmy Cliff. And when I go through my thing, you will see what occurred and why Bob Marley is where he is today, or was, or still is, the way, depending on how you want to look at it. Okay. The way this is going to work is I'll do my discussion all the way through first, and then I'll take questions and answers after. So have your notebooks ready. This is not going to be a test, but have your notebook ready. If you want to ask questions, sure, if I can answer it, I'll be forthcoming with the best possible answer. So, to understand how Jamaican music expanded to the global stage, we must look at it in two distinct phases. The first phase was with somebody you know pretty well. His name was Harry Belafonte. Do you know him?
Yes.
Okay, Harry Belafonte was a very strong proponent of Caribbean culture. And at the time in 1956, when he came out with his records, it was competing against none other than Elvis Presley. You know him too, right?
Yes.
Well, his Belafonte's album, Calypso, stayed on the charts for 31 straight weeks, eclipsing Elvis Presley. So that was our first introduction to the world stage. He took the Caribbean folk songs, and you know the most famous one, Banana Boat. He took songs like that, and what most of these guys had to do then was to dress it up into understandable English so that the Western market could like their songs. That wasn't the case with Bob Marley, I can tell you. Now, the second phase begins with Jimmy Cliff. Jimmy Cliff arrived in Kingston as a 14-year-old boy from a very small village in Montego Bay called Somerton. Anyone here from Jamaica that know that village? Probably it's a working class village, not much to do. Perhaps the people contributed to the farms, and then some of the more learned ones would probably work in the tourist industry, because at that time the tourist industry was just about coming up. So we have this character, Jimmy Cliff. Oh. Now, I'm going to illustrate a particular song that he was influential in, and no one probably paid attention to that. So let me just pull up this tune, and I'll give you a clip of it in a moment. Okay, here we go. That clip is not in my bag, but he couldn't find any job. His parents sent him to school in Kingston. Yes, from Montego Bay to Kingston. Most of the time, what happens is that they would send you off and you would board with someone in Kingston who the family might know. And he had a cousin who preceded him in Kingston. But when he came to Kingston at 14, I mean, can you imagine coming to New York at 12 and you're alone? I mean, you'd be totally lost. So it's the same thing. He came to Kingston and he got himself into trouble, not criminal trouble, but homelessness, because after a while his cousin could not afford to keep him at home. He lived in a small tenement and they couldn't keep him. So he left himself wandering down the streets of Kingston, Jamaica, and he found himself right on a street called Music Street. That's not the name of the street officially. The name of the street is Orange Street. Anyone in Jamaica must know about Orange Street. That's the boulevard where all the music people existed. So he found himself on that street and wandering, and at the time, there was something that we call sound systems. Do you know what sound systems are?
Yes.
Well, in Jamaica, sound systems is a fundamental thing. Every teenage kid in Jamaica strives to have a sound system. It's a very strange thing, but we all like our music and we go to lengths to buy various types of music equipment and records. So it's in our DNA. So while downtown Kingston, roaming the streets at 15, I think, 15 and a half, 16, he came across a record shop. And the name of that record shop is Beverly's Records. That shop was owned by a Chinese Jamaican family, 3 brothers, Leslie Kong, Cecil, and Fat Kong. All they did was sell records for the various artists and sound systems on that street. That street, as I said before, is called Music Street. As a matter of fact, there's a song by a Jamaican artist called Music Street, take me on to Music Street, a reggae song by, a rocksteady song by that name. So while Cliff was roaming around the streets, he saw this restaurant sign, and he sat outside and he wrote a song. But the inspiration for that song was the name of the guy's restaurant, Beverly's. So he penned a song called Dearest Beverly. I wanted to hear this song because, and I'll explain to you in a little bit why this song was made the way it was. Listen. I'm not getting any sound. supposed to play? All right, I can backdoor it. Hold on, I can backdoor it. Hold on. So let's look for the clip. And this is the song.
Click it once. Just click once. There you go.
But it should be playing when it starts.
Give me 1 month. I'm just gonna connect you to the internet.
I don't think it needs the internet to this because I played a song. Technical difficulties always with these computers.
Can we try a different song just to make sure?
It's not even playing, so let me restart it. Huh?
Okay.
I have to restart it. It doesn't like the library.
Wow.
I was just kidding. Let me restart. You know, I notice even at home when I'm doing something and I go away and come back for a while, it just sleeps up and I have to restart.
Well, the other thing we could do is I can do it over Bluetooth with my phone and you can tell me what song and I'll play it.
Oh, well.
You want to do that?
Well, let's try this first
Okay.
and see when it restarts.
Thank you, folks.
Be patient. You ever heard of Murphy's Law?
Someone, oh, you live.
Oh, there we go. Slow. Here we go. Here we go.
Good.
Why is
Little
it?
patience, right?
Yes.
Why isn't it going?
This one.
It stopped again.
Oh, did you touch something there?
Oh, it stopped here. Yes, I'm playing again. So why don't I find the songs?
Okay.
Okay? We have a different system, guys. Sorry about that.
All right. So, but I can still talk while I go through the narration, and then I'll double back to the particular song that started his whole life of music.
All right, I can play it.
Okay, you ready? Oh, okay, so the first song for Jimmy Cliff is called Dearest Beverly.
Once more, you've been away.
Thank you. So the tempo and the beat or tempo is emblematic of the kind of music that was coming into Jamaica at that time. Those songs came from the South, Memphis, Louisiana, all those soul records that people used to hear, use their little transistor radios and listen to, and you would get those sounds from. And farm workers would come and work on the plantation and then buy those records and bring back to Jamaica. Fats Domino, Dizzy Gillespie, all those guys. So after he penned that song, some critics say that that song was used to entice the owners to publish that record for him, but it's not quite so, because I don't see, when I listen to that song several times, I don't see where he mentioned Beverly Records or anything like that. But at the end of the day, the owner, Leslie Kong, because he was so inexperienced with doing live records, he asked another famous Jamaican artist. His name is Derek Morgan. And Derek Morgan, he told Jimmy Cliff to go see Derek Morgan, and if Derek Morgan likes this song, then I'll try to do something for you. So Derek Morgan took him back, and they decided that they're going to record it. But Derek Morgan told Leslie Kong, it doesn't make sense to record this song, let us do another one and put it on the B-side. Fortuitously, a hurricane passed through the Caribbean, and that hurricane was called Hurricane Hattie. And Cliff, with his smarts, for 16 years old, penned a song reflecting the hurricane. So when he went back to Beverly's record, they put both songs together, the Hurricane Hattie on the A side and that song that I played before on the B side. Let us hear that one, Hurricane Hattie. All right, so you see the difference? At that time, our music was unfolding, but it wasn't in its raw form just yet, because as you can tell, those beats are really southern music, those juke joint songs down south. But our local artists, you know, as creative as they were, managed the records in such a way that they could produce a song like that. So Leslie Kong of Beverly's was so impressed when the song turned out to be a greatest hit in Jamaica at that time. I don't know if you remember that hurricane song as a little girl growing up. I don't remember it either, but I know it was a very fabulous and popular song. And what you have to remember too is that the traditional trench tone roots reggae music could not be played on the radio in Jamaica. They banned it. So they had to make it colorful in order for RJR, Radio Jamaica and Radio Fusion to play it. And that never happened only in Jamaica either. That happened in England as well. The BBC would not play our music. And even though with that migration rush from Jamaica to England, they took their music with them, and so as culture, it just spread. It bypassed the big stage, so to speak. But it ended up on the big stage. I'm going to show you how. So, bless you. In 1962 now we are at 1961, 59, 60, 61. Now in 1962, Jamaica was about to get its independence. And the country was in awe. So this guy, I get emotional about these things. So this guy came up with a song called Miss Jamaica. Thank you.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Believe me, I love you. Let's not be apart, but love goes in my heart. And sweet rose, you are my queen. You're my Miss Jamaica, my Miss Jamaica. You're my Miss Jamaica. I'm calling you myself.
Yes. That was it. Jamaica exploded with that. So now,
Tony,
yes,
if I may interrupt. So I think why part of it is that in 1962 we got our independence from Great Britain, and
I will explain that when I'm done.
okay. So I just wanted people to understand.
I
It's
will-
very special. It's a very special moment for the country.
Yes, it was very special, and the streets were very euphoric about it. You know, again, this guy put that song. Yeah, that song again.
Although you may not have such a fabulous shape, soon the rest of the world.
Okay, so you hear the beat on that one. Still not quite authentic Jamaican rhythms yet. It had some blues riff in it. You can hear it. The 1-2, the one drop, as we call it, did not arrive yet. So now all those records in England via, remember, it still could not be played on the radio and all that. But we had outlets. There's a guy called Chris Blackwell. I don't know if anybody knows him. Chris Blackwell, Jamaican, half Jamaican Englishman who owned Island Records. And he had a distribution outlet with a record company in England called Trojan. And so, in England, that's how the songs got out, through the back door, through Trojan. But now, we are now in 1964, and there is something called the World's Fair. So we had a guy called Eddie Siaga. He was responsible for implementing the newfound culture of Jamaica. So he put a team together to come to New York at the World's Fair. That team included Jimmy Cliff, Prince Buster, and Millie Small. Do you know that? Yeah. Okay. Now, there's a big controversy. Oh, thank you, dear. That's my wife. There's a big controversy because this guy, Siaga, bypassed the cultural aspects of our music and gave the trip to a Byron Lee and the Dragonaires, another Chinese guy who we had business with, and left out the roots guys who brought the songs to the rest of the world. Totally bypassed them. So, at the World's Fair, guess who was in the World's Fair? Chris Blackwell. Chris Blackwell saw Jimmy Cliff on stage and decided that, hey, Jamaica has a musical showmanship. This guy's like 17, 18 years old, and decided to give him a contract. But that trip was a mess for the goal that Mr. Siaga had set for it, right? So Byron Lee was the musician, and he tried to teach the American people to do the ska. So he came up with a song called Jamaica Ska.
Can you dance?
Yes. So can you imagine people in New York, Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, all over the world coming to dance that? That was his idea, to export the culture to the United States and the rest of the world, but they couldn't do the dance. It just flopped. In that perspective, it flopped. But success was eminent because Chris Blackwell was in the audience, as I said before, and he listened to the acts and he signed Jimmy Cliff to a contract. What stroke of luck? I mean, it's like 14 years old, streetless. No, I'm in England. Wow. Yeah, so despite that cultural disconnect between the World's Fair audience and the plan to spread the culture abroad, it flopped. And so Jimmy Cliff was emerged as an artist now. This is what Blackwell told Cliff before he signed him. There are many good singers in America like you, but you won't make it in America. You have to come to England. And in doing that, he took Jimmy Cliff's songs and, well, the industry called it repolish. They repolished it and make it clean with those high, bright sounds that really not roots, the real Bob Marley, Trenchtown roots. Jimmy Cliff don't have that. But nonetheless, he polished it up and made it acceptable to the Western media, RCA and all that stuff. While in England, Cliff didn't get a chance to play at his clubs, his community. Like you come to America, the first place you want to go is Brooklyn. And you want to go to the basement parties in Brooklyn. He never had that. He was forced, or well, I wouldn't say forced, but the strategy, not his strategy, the strategy was Chris Blackwell. Chris Blackwell's strategy was to make him a pop artist, like the greatest pop artist ever, Jackson.
Yes.
They wanted him to be like that. So he worked in England, played at clubs with some very high-profile British rock royalty like the Who's and Jimi Hendrix. And his first album, meaning Cliff's first album, under the new inspired leadership of Chris Blackwell, was Wonderful World. Let's hear that song. Wonderful world, beautiful people. I want to hear the bridge. Go ahead. Yes, you hear that switch? Very nice. Well done. But that song rose to number 6 on the British pop charts. But with that success, being away from home, bad for Jimmy Cliff, bad. Couldn't deal with it. And because of that experience, he made his signature song, Many Rivers.
What is it?
Many rivers to cross. Comes up. Can you get it? Yeah, that one.
My way over. Wandering I am lost as I travel along wide cliffs of Dover. Many rivers to cross, and it's only my will that keeps me alive.
Yes, only his will to survive in cold London. London, damp and bleak and miserable and racist people. When a song like that comes out and it's covered by other people, you know that it's a testament to the tune and to the way the artist delivered it. So that was covered by a big time rock band, UB40, covered by my favorite soul singer, Oleta Adams. I don't know if anybody hear Oleta Adams. I mean, if you should hear her version of it, it would be like mesmerizing. But that was not the pinnacle yet, but he was getting there. He was getting there with that song. Now he's famous now, worldwide famous. So, on the heels of that, in late 1969, anybody can tell me what was going on worldwide in 1969? Vietnam. Well, right at the middle of that, his success with Many Rivers to Cross, he penned a tune called Vietnam. Could you hear that? Play for a bit because I wanted to hear the lyrics of that tune and then I'll comment on it after. So hear this now, hear it now. It's coming. Yes, the letter came from Vietnam telling the woman, our son is dead. What a tragedy. But the musicians, see, Jimmy Cliff used a literary concept in literature, a concept called the Trojan horse. And if you remember your literature in school, your stories, your Greek mythology in school, you'd have known about the Trojan War, Athens and Troy, and how the soldiers were put into this great big wooden horse and shoved inside the walls and gave the opponents a feeling that it was a gift, but there were soldiers inside. And when they came and opened it up, they attacked them and took over the city. So it was a deceptive practice. So in order to get those kinds of songs played on the radio, they had to use the concept, but brighten it up with very nice, crisp, well-spoken English so that the audience could listen to it and enjoy it. But by the time they got completely finished listening, the message in the song got them. And that was the trick of using the Trojan horse. So Blackwell now realized he has a prodigy, a product. He can now market him full scale. So what he did, he sent him to introduce him to some famous musicians from a very famous recording place in Alabama called Muscle Shoals. Anybody hear of Muscle Shoals? It's equivalent now to that surpassed Motown. In Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, the Philadelphia International MSB sound, if you want to have a record made with good sound and vibes, you would go to Muscle Shoals then. Now you go to Philadelphia to go to the MFSB studio, Philadelphia International Records. So they sent him there, and they did their thing with him. But the funny thing that struck me about it is that the name of the band that they made for Jimmy Cliff was Shakedown. And I'm saying, Shakedown? Why you would have a band called Shakedown? You want to shake him down or something like that? But nevertheless, the partnership between Chris Blackwell and Island Records and Jimmy Cliff got deeper, and guess what happened? They made a movie, a great movie. The movie is called what?
The harder they get.
The harder they come, the harder they fall. One and all. The thing about that movie, though, is that it reflected Cliff's life, because he was the star. He was Ivanhoe Martin, and all of that movie reflected his life when he came to Kingston and struggled and all of that stuff. So this was his pinnacle, his peak, when he created that soundtrack. And from that soundtrack, here is the name of that song, the title, The Harder They Come. Yes, no pie in the sky, wanted right down here on earth. I think that Bob Marley also reflected. The next time I do this, I'll do it for Bob Marley, and I'll dissect Bob Marley's attitude, not as polished as this guy is. But nevertheless, it got the job done. Our music was zooming. Right after that, in that same movie, is another song of his, I Can Get It If We Try. Take a listen. Find it? You can get it if you can get it if you try.
You can get it if you really want it.
Yes. So I'm going to draw a comparison. Jimmy Cliff is a devout, individualistic person as compared to Bob Marley, who deal with the collective. Bob Marley talked about the community. Jimmy Cliff spoke about he, himself, and I, which I believe is one of the reasons why the current Prime Minister of Jamaica, when he awarded him the Order of Merit. But that's just my view of it. But because the government in Jamaica, this guy now is capitalist. And if you understand economics when you were in school, you know that capitalist economics is driven entirely by an individualistic attitude, not a collective one. in that song, some other famous Jamaicans backed it, like a group called the Melodians. You ever heard of them? Yes, they were part of that. Guys like Ronnie Williams, who played guitar. I didn't know that until I did my research. Ronnie Williams played the guitar. But Ronnie Williams, to me, as a little boy growing up, was a comedian. I had no idea that he could play a record, a musical instrument. So right at the peak of his career, which is the harder they come, he walked away. He walked away from Island Records. And while he was walking away, guess who was walking in? Bob Marley. Literally past each other coming out the office.
Like sailing ships.
And Jimmy Cliff turned to him and said, "Hey Bob, watch this man. Him tricky." Meaning he's tricky, you know, he's a trickster. He will make you, and no said and done. Because as you know, he tried to tailor Bob Marley's rhythms similar to how he did with Jimmy Cliff, but Bob was never having any of it. So he left and he did his own thing. At the height of his career, he left. He went on to do some other things independently, formed his own record label, made some songs after that. And one of the songs that was appealing to me in preparing for this was a song called "Struggling Man." Could you find that, please? It was from an album by the same name. Yes, so you hear very highly polished, nothing rootsy about that. You know, really nice, crisp music that would have been acceptable to the worldwide market for him to have record sales. So now he has a stage in his life where things began to happen to him, and then he changed his religion. He was a devout Pentecostal. And he went and became a Muslim. Yes, changed his name to Bashir. I think that's the way it's pronounced. Went on to Brazil. Became very famous in Brazil, to the extent that the Brazilian people created a subgenre of their samba, because their music is samba, and they created a subgenre called reggae samba. Now, they got very mesmerized with Jimmy Cliff, and he created a song that made a big splash in South America. It's called Waterfall. That's
shine, I know the place of mine. If I could have my way, I
That song won an I'm going to give you the exact title. Won the International Song Festival in Brazil. I mean, he must have, they fell in love with that song. So I didn't say anything too fabulous about that song. But I mean, it's a Jamaican song. How do you get that kind of rhythm in a Jamaican song? One thing stood out to me about Cliff, and I think he copied this from Bob, is a song later on called Stand Up and Fight. Could you find that, please? Now it begins to get a little more rootsy. You hear the difference? You hear the drums? Yes. So that's a spin-off, I wouldn't say a spin-off, but a follow-on to Bob's songs, Get Up, Stand Up. Right? It's expressing the same sentiment. But if you listen to Bob Marley's sentiments in that song, it is nowhere like that one that just finished playing. When you hear Bob sing Get Up, Stand Up, you get up and stand up, because it is imploring you to get up and stand up. Even if you don't want to stand up, you go and stand up. It's coming towards a thing in his life now. He's mellow, he's got his own thing going. And he had a warning for CBS, NBC, and all these mega media places. And he came out with a song called Nuclear War. Could you find that, please?
هذا رئيسكم الحرب الأطومية تسبب ضرر للصحة.
You're surprised, right? That's his Arabic.
Это президент говорит. Атомная война вредна для вашего здоровья.
This
Translation.
is a message from your president. And nuclear war is bad for your health.
Nuclear war is bad for your health. Now it's getting rootsy. Hear it? Different from before. RJR, NBC. Thank you. Telling those media outlets to do the best they can to help to prevent a nuclear war. So, after that, he returned to Kingston. Bought a very fabulous house. You deserve, after a career like that, you deserve to live in the most pristine area of Jamaica. And that's what he did. He bought a mansion on several acres in a very nice area called Halfway Tree, West Haven, near the foot of Constant Spring Hills or something. You know that area?
Where was that? Beverly Hills?
No, not Beverly Hills, but it is one of those hills on the left. Barbican, up that way. Yeah, somewhere up that way. With his family, his kids, and they call that house my papa's house. So for his everlasting and fabulous career in music, he was awarded the Jamaica's Order of Merit. It's not an ordinary award, that. Only few people ever get that. Louise Bennett, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, and Bunny Wailer for their contribution to bringing the social consciousness of our culture to the world. So he died. November 24th, 2025, he was 81 years old. So, apart from me getting emotional about this, what did my discussion leave you with? Tell me. Basically, it's just saying, as he said, as a 14-year-old guy, 19, 20, 21, all the way up, you can get it if you try. Don't depend on no one. So, the next time you hear a Jamaican yard music, remember Jimmy Cliff. He was the first and the only man to spread the music the way he did, on his terms, not by some corporate RCA and all of that stuff, to sing the songs that he wants. Now, although this is a discussion on Jimmy Cliff, I just want to draw one single contrast. Could you find that song from Bob Marley's? Get Up, Stand Up. The beginning is completely different. The opening of the song, it is warning you of something.
Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
Listen.
Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Preacher man, tell me heaven is on the earth. I know you don't know.
Yes. Thank you. That's a solid reminder to exercise your rights in a condition like no. Folks, thank you very much for this. All right. Yes. Questions?
One song that you didn't mention, which is a dub from another song, from another singer. I can see clearly now he did it, and I think he got more international attention from that song than the original, right?
Well, yeah, that's a Johnny Nash song.
Right.
So Johnny Nash was a guy who was trying to work his way into the Jamaican scene. Remember, Johnny Nash had Bob Marley and couldn't manage Bob Marley. And he sang that song, but because it was a cover of a song does not generally get the same bravado appeal as the original. And that's why, I mean, I didn't exclude it on purpose, but I picked the songs that were very influential in his life, raw, real Jimmy Cliff, no cover of anything. These are all his songs. Yes.
How did he change his name, or who changed his name for him?
From From to Cliff?
From Chambers to...
Yes, so, well, in Jamaica, either you just go down to the local place and change the name, but my research told me that he himself did not change it.
Oh.
During his association with the Music Street crew, those people, Derek Morgan and all that, and they sat and listened to him, they said, boy, this guy Chambers, let us call him Cliff. Another story in doing this present and coming up with this thing is that he himself changed his name, not because he wanted a name change, but because he was determined to scale the highest heights in Jamaican music. So it was like a cliff that he had to go over, so he called himself Jimmy Cliff.
And did he correlate with Marley at all? Did he do anything with Marley?
I don't think they had a collaboration, but they had an interaction when Bob was coming in to see Blackwell. Cliff was coming out and stopped Marley and said, look, hey, keep your eye on this brother, dangerous man.
There was no interaction before that too. As a matter of fact, it was Jimmy Cliff who brought Bob Marley.
Oh yes. Oh my God, how could I have excluded that? When Cliff became a sort of musical genius for the Beverly Records place, and he is now interviewing other guys off the street who want to sing. And guess who came through? None other than the great Bob Marley. And he auditioned Bob Marley for that song called George Knott. Can you find that song for me, please? George Knott. Thank you for reminding me. It's in my notes, but I just... Can I find it? It's really old.
Want to type it?
No, it's not Bob Marley. It's not Jimmy Cliff. It's Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
Yeah, George Knott. George, J-U-D-G-E, George Knott.
And then Judge Knott.
George Knott. There you go. Yes, the same rhythm. Exactly. Derek Morgan sings songs exactly like that. Thank you, Leah. But at that very early stage, Bob was 16 years old.
So that's Bob Marley.
Yes, 16 years old, trying to be a welder. And this guy, Desmond Decker, who was also part of the original Jamaican ska, who was one of the first guys' records that was played abroad, a United Artists album, label. And Desmond Decker went to Beverly's, because Beverly's recorded him, and he went back to Trenchtown and saw Bob. He said, Bob, yo, go check this brother. Exactly, go check this brother out at Beverly's record. His name is Jimmy Cliff. And Jimmy Cliff, and you know, that was his trip, because you know what happened to Bob Marley, his meteoric rise. So yes, thanks for reminding me of that. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
You had mentioned that Jimmy Cliff had become a Muslim.
Yes.
Now, it's sort of, this question has a number of parts. One, what year was it? Two, was he influenced by people like Malcolm X? And three, was he changing his viewpoint
Okay.
So it's a rather complicated question.
No, but I think that's reasonable. I think it's reasonable, so I'll give you a stab at that. So, right. There was a guy in the record fraternity in Jamaica at that same time. His name was Prince Buster.
What year was this roughly?
That would be 62, 63, in that span between 60 to 65.
So all assassinations and
and the Black Power movements and all that was going on. But I myself was one of those radical Black Power guy back down in Jamaica.
Oh, that's good.
No, I mean, so events on the Jamaica stage perhaps caused him to be that way. Because remember, you know, those guys never got paid to sing their songs. The men like Coxon and Duke Reid, those are big time musical promoters, pay them £1 to sing a song. £1 is like $10 or $5, some ridiculous number. $2 back then. $2 to sing a song that made millions of dollars. They took it off for themselves. So I'd imagine that Cliff, with his individualistic approach, I would have to really ask that question and research it, why he changed his name. I don't know why he changed his name, but I would suspect that he had influences from Prince Buster, who was a Muslim in Jamaica. And his attitude towards self-development is only natural because he was suffering and he had to pull himself up by the bootstraps. He had no help, only luck. I don't know if I gave a satisfactory answer, but he had influences. He had influence because I was influenced by H. Brown. That was me when I was 16. We had a riot in Jamaica. A university professor from Guyana came to Jamaica, and they didn't want him to come to Jamaica. That same man, Edward Siaga, banned him from coming to Jamaica, and the university community erupted. And I marched in that thing too, with my gloves on my hand down King Street. Yes. I mean, yes, sir.
I just want to correct you on the fact that Get Up Stand Up, you must give credence to the group Wailers and not just Bob Marley. Because Get Up Stand Up was recorded in 1973 on the album Burning. So we like to say Bob Marley, but actually the group is the Wailers. Let me finish.
Well, to follow through on that.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
And we must give credence to the Wailers because the song Get Up Stand Up was co-written along with Peter Tosh. So if you say Bob Marley and not, giving credence to the actual group and essentially Peter Tosh, then we're leaving out history, if you will. So let us say not Bob Marley when it comes to Get Up Stand Up, but let us say the Wailers, because actually it is. Not was, but it is.
Well, I agree with you on that technical point, but from a marketing standpoint and money-making standpoint of Bob Marley's career, it is not Bob Marley and the Wailers. It is not Bob. It's Bob Marley and the Wailers, not the Wailers. It is Bob Marley and the Wailers, and that's why I mentioned how Chris Blackwell changed that. That is he who did it. And when they asked Marley about it, Marley said in his own language, "Why, honor me, do it, And I know I'm a whaler, so I'll always be a whaler."
He said, "Once a whaler,
always a whaler." Right, but it is a marketing ploy.
But the fact is that we must give credence. History,
and I do.
History must be recorded as is, And those who don't know should know.
I agree, absolutely. Any other comments, questions, nuances? Because that was quite nuanced. Yes, sir.
The one quick thing I'd like to say is that much of the music, except the last two songs that I played, even when he was with Island Records, there was still Beverly's All-Star, Beverly's.
Well, the group was Beverly's All-Star.
It was recorded at Beverly's Studios, just the same.
It doesn't matter. It's Island Records. Beverly's was just the imprint.
That's right. Well,
all the decisions were made by Chris Blackwell in London, right? And Beverly's record was just the channel of distribution for it. So when I talk about Jamaican music distributing, I mean Blackwell. Any others?
All right, thank you, Mr. Cover. And I just want to give him a great round of applause for providing us with such history this morning. I certainly have learned a lot. I know a number of you probably resonated with a lot of what he said and have learned more. And we will certainly have you back again. But I just want to say thank everybody for coming on behalf of the committee. Thank you for presenting all this information. And Leah, I want to thank you for all of the technical support that you provided.
Oh, what a fabulous lady. Thank you, West Hartford Library Commission. It's it's West Indian Caribbean American Heritage Month. And Leah, you have been fabulous. Next time I'm going to have an Apple computer to do this. You know. Thank you. It was beautiful.
Thank you all for coming. Please take some refreshments before you go.